Hi guys, hello, this is Gosha, Cosmic Agency, and right away we're going to begin and we're going to continue where we left off. Last time we talked about behind the mission Aneeka, where she was going through the proposal for the Federation, which was rejected, after which she became the Federation most wanted, and she became this rock star on the ship, and Yaski was talking about this. So this is where we left off. Now I'm going to share with you just a tiny piece of the conversation, and I'm going to share with you the whole conversation right after this video. But this is going to be a tiny part of the conversation where Aneeka is sharing her anger and frustration with the menace, with the threat she received from the Federation. Okay, so as I was going through all these elements that were contributing to Aneeka's being overwhelmed and mentally exhausted, this was a huge one. This was a very important one, because she was becoming literally threatened by the Federation. And in today's video, we're going to go through other elements that were contributing to her exhaustion, and we will go in quite a detail through different conversations where you can see how she was struggling with her health, how we were struggling, Robert and I, with trying to help her, how stubborn she was, stubborn/dedicated, refusing the medical treatments and refusing to take care of herself. So we are going to go through all this, show our friendship, behind the scenes conversations, because as we always say, this contact has not been only really about receiving information to share with you. That was always a big part of it, but also there was a personal part, the friendship part, and that took always much more of our time. So let's begin. First, short conversation with Aneeka.
I had a menace from the Federation to shut up, and then I have no one to reply to.
How did they threaten you exactly?
Just one message, to stop revealing secrets because I had violated the Prime Directive. It was a threat, clear and shot. A warning, to stop giving you, Robert, or anyone else information.
So will you stop?
Yes, of course. I'm being sarcastic. I will send them to hell.
Did they say not to reveal us anything, or just secrets?
Everything, and everything is secrets anyway.
So, any specific plan of action?
Giving away even more secrets, and sharing with everyone the fact that I got threatened.
So this was just a short, tiny aperitif of what's coming right after this video. I'm going to share this whole conversation because it's really cool, it's really nice. So many chats that I'm discovering that are really worth sharing. So Aneeka was very strong. As I said, she was a rock star on the ship at that time, but it was all just becoming too much. Retaliations and realizations about Galactic Federation, discovering what really Galactic Federation is about, Trump disappointments, intelligence agents disappointments, COVID, that was of course the huge one, the Federation proposal rejected, and threats from them. So of course she started to take it all too personally and began at this point to weaken. Okay, so what had to happen for Aneeka was to remove herself. She needed to remove herself from everything that was causing the issues. So everything that was causing her stress, because you cannot heal in the environment that is causing you to be sick in the first place. So she needed to stop to watch the human matrix problems and all that, and just to relax, remove herself from being online as much as possible, and rest. The problem with Aneeka was that she loved it too much, and this job and sharing her findings and discoveries and her knowledge became her life and her mission. So it was very difficult to know what to do to help her, since you knew that removing her from her life passion, being on her post and looking at all these different human things was was her life mission, but it was also what was causing her getting sick. So what do you do? Anyway, I'm going to share with you many conversations. The first one is just me with Yaski, and we are talking about Aneeka. This is around 2021, February. How is Aneeka?
She is not okay. Decay is covering for her best he can. She cannot manage so much negativity. It has been months of tension because of the Trump thing. She did take the Trump deception a little too personal. I think she has not accepted that it is not up to her to solve Earth's problems. And she lost all her intelligence contacts for the better. Lost as it dawned on her that they were all fake or pointless. Left them. She did, but also because the Queen said so. It is no longer safe for her to be looking at news or managing the pressure of informing and getting all the flack from trolls, especially when she was working with human things and data. She was looking at COVID problems all day long. You know that here we are mostly mental. So Aneeka is just about living mentally in the middle of Los Angeles, 4 blocks away from LAX. So she must move away from Earth problems for her sanity. She's just too much into investigating every little detail of why a PCR test is wrong. She must not be on the job all day long. That is not healthy. That's why she gets burned out. She must do more like you. Do the job and then go out and live.
I know. It does affect me too, trolls and all, but not the same way. And I find balance, things that ground me and bring me back my harmony. So what does she do like that?
That is the problem, because this project has become her life. So now she feels something is missing. But that's not right, because the stress hormones becomes addictive. And that ends up affecting her health badly. She seems like she doesn't know what to do with herself, but she must remain off-grid for now.
I know how that feels. I think about ideas for the videos all the time. Major reason why I can't sleep in the morning.
Yes, so we have been talking here about the how to continue so no one gets hurt, especially Aneeka.
Don't. Take a break. I myself have enough on my plate. So share whenever you feel the need to share something. So we were all trying to have Aneeka realize that she needs to take a break. The best thing she could do is to remove herself completely and go on vacation, like go back to Temer. You'll see now there'll be many conversations where we are all encouraging her to do just that. The problem was, just like with Svaru, where we were encouraging her to take care of herself and stop and rest and whatever, do other things. Well, she didn't want. She just didn't want and kept convincing us that this is what she wants to do. So remember, we couldn't insist too much on getting rid of her. Of course, that's not what it was. We were just trying to make her see that she needed a break. But remember that she had all these insecurities. So we couldn't insist on that too much without her thinking, okay, maybe they just don't want me around, or my information is not valuable or something, because she had many insecurities. Like in the last episode we saw with Alan and Naishara, when they were alerting us to that problem. So we always had to be careful with that, because people with insecurities have that tendency when they know something about themselves. Like, for example, if you feel yourself lesser in any sense, you're going to look for confirmations, even though they are not that. They are just maybe random coincidences and things people say or do. I'm just now talking in general. Well, they're going to pick whatever they can find to confirm psychologically what they believe about themselves to be true. So that was the case with Aneeka, and we had to be careful about that. So we wanted her to know that that we know that she needs a break, but without insisting on it too much at the same time, especially when she was so adamant and passionate about letting us know that she is fine and that she wants to continue. Anyway, it was a constant struggle with Aneeka. Now, this is a conversation with Aneeka. Well, actually, no, this is just Aneeka speaking Okay, yes, because she was trying to make us understand that this is not about her sharing or looking at things or being online and talking. This is about just restructuring things, reprioritizing her contacts, for example, and her tasks on the ship as well, because she had many tasks on the ship. So yeah, of course, when you are overburdened and overstressed, the idea is to lighten the burden somehow and to distribute the tasks, reprioritize, to do just what's important. So Aneeka was trying to tell us, well, if I talk to you and I don't talk to others, well, at least what I'm saying will be shared. So I need to restructure who I talk to and how much, because it's nothing personal about against anybody. It's just that I need to make sure that my time spent online is being productive. Now, I completely understand that because I am actually the same way. But anyway, Aneeka here will explain this in her own words.
The thing is, ultimately, I can no longer be online just for other people's entertainment. And as I was saying to Gosha, being with you guys, even talking about whatever, cats and video games, is part of the whole thing, because the ideas and concepts that you two form about me, or about us here, are passed on to thousands of people. It's not the same as talking to others. I mean, I have to reserve my energy and attention to be here to share the knowledge, not for answering whatever comes up all the time. I have, let's say, 10,000 keystrokes a day. I don't know how many it really is, but you get my point. So it matters how those 10,000 keystrokes are used. Because contrary to what the experts say, I am not AI. You see, this conversation will surely be shared by you or influence you to share it with thousands. With others, I've had these conversations, and they won't go any further. That's why talking to you is not the same as talking to others. And it's not that it's not worth talking to others, or to you, for reasons of friendship only. It's just that in my case today, I have to economize my efforts. I have to be very careful about what I do online, or I'll collapse. 75% of this project right now is on me. And I like it, and I do it because it's the right thing to do. But I have to take care of myself. And I have a tendency not to take care of myself, and I've been told that ad nauseum here. And that's why I have to, and we have to, economize on not wearing ourselves out with nonsense or unnecessary personal contacts.
I completely understand, Aneeka, because I'm exactly the same. So right away, I want to say I'm sorry to everybody who I'm not responding to or not replying to your messages, but because I only have a certain amount of hours in my day and online, I need to dedicate that to something that will be affecting hundreds and thousands and not just one specific person. This is something that we agreed with them actually as well from the very beginning. So I completely understand that because I am exactly the same. Now, around 2021, that's when she started to develop eye problems. She had the stroke, I think, derrame in Spanish, in her eye. And she started to remove herself a little bit as it was recommended, of course, but not entirely. That was when Athena Svaru was already around, and she started coming around more to support to Aneeka, to show, listen, I'm going to take charge of this and you go rest. And that was the idea, for Athena to come more often and for Aneeka to come less. However, she didn't really apply to that very much, Aneeka. Her eye problem, it was said, was to do with the fact that she was seeing things, like with the COVID, that she did not want to see. That it was just so horrible that her eye shut down because she didn't want to see that. So it was the connection. Now, okay, we are going to go through very quickly, just in my own words, two huge elements that happened that contributed to worsening of Aneeka's health. I'll start with something less. The first of them is a strange, temporary, metaphysically strange situation that happened on the ship. I'm not going to talk to you about this in detail here, maybe some other time, but it's kind of delicate. It has to do with Yashi. but it has to do with the fact that somehow timelines got mixed up on a ship. And Yasuki had to do with that. That was good intentions on her part. She was trying to solve a certain problem, personal situation. The thing is that it got scrambled a little bit. And I do remember that some people ended up with slightly different memories about different events than other people. And it wasn't Yasuki's fault, really. It was just a consequence of that situation. It was very, very, very strange. I remember Robert, Aneeka, and a few other people ended up on one side with a group of people that remembered something differently, and then other people remembered something differently on the ship. And it was very draining, and they were trying to understand what happened, and they were trying to, reach the root of this, like what's happening? Why did this happen? And, and also they were fighting among one another because they were fighting one another's memories. Like, no, that's not what happened. Yeah, I remember that happened, and we were involved with that. And we were like, no, this did happen. On top of it, we had transcripts. So we had everything actually that happened really in the past from our timeline in the transcripts. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about this much. I just want to mention this because it was an element there that was another element that was kind of mind collapsing, and it was a bit mind collapsing for us all. We had to adjust and adapt and listen and take it on, absorb it, understand it. It was actually kind of fascinating in the end. Yasuki was trying to explain this to me in some larger metaphysical way. Anyway, I don't want to extend this video, so I'm going to go to the next element, and that is much more serious element that happened that got everybody sick. And that was, well, sick, at least mentally, psychologically. And that was the situation with the 2020-2021 infiltration. Yes, we already had the infiltration event happen in around 2020 when two ex-contactees, females, got into contact with the TAYGETANs, and they became their friends. That whole story is described somewhere in my videos, but it was huge. It took everybody's attention away. It took everybody's concern. Everything was on that situation. Everything was on that situation. They were Aneeka's friends. And I'm not going to extend this video, so look back in my previous video somewhere. That infiltration is explained in detail, actually. They attacked us. It was just another one of those early attempts to attack us and this project from the inside, and that affected Aneeka very much. That was a betrayal. That was so huge. So her health just didn't go. It was not improving because there was just no break almost for her to improve. There was always something happening. Now, about this timeline change, again, because I'm not going to go into the details, but I'm going to share with you just a short conversation that Aneeka had with Robert regarding this situation. So she says in her own words that, like, it seems like the crew has been split because of this timeline mess.
All that remains is for the crew to split into two groups.
I don't know to what extent, but with this timeline business, they already have.
What a mess. So your mental state isn't the best right now?
Honestly, no. Yes, I am very motivated to continue, that's for sure. But I do feel emotionally drained by this mess here. As Senator warns me, if I keep doing what hurt me in the first place, the stroke and problem will come back.
But you don't do what you used to do anymore, right?
Mostly not, and I've reduced my contacts here to the bare minimum. And as for seeing conspiracies and how the COVID is going, I don't follow it anymore. We understand enough already.
Okay, so that was the situation with that timeline. Aneeka was not applying very well the changes and the recommendations. So her eye problem, I'm looking here because I have my notes, if you see me looking away. She kept having her eye problems, and the problem was that she refused to have any treatments and tests and examinations. So it's kind of like the same with varroa vera, which I don't myself understand. I like to have tests and different examinations done. I would imagine that I wouldn't refuse that. Although, I don't know, it depends. Well, she refused them. So since she refused to be treated medically by Senetre, well, then the only other idea was for her to go to Temer for vacation. You don't even have to go back permanently, just a little bit, recover and, come back. Now, we also had the idea of totally disconnecting from Aneeka, because we were thinking, okay, this is not working. She's so stubborn. She keeps coming. I mean, maybe we just had to shut our accounts off for a few weeks, and then she will have no choice but at least to have one task less, not to talk to us. However, that plan was turned down also by Alanim, and somewhere there in the conversations I couldn't find that one, where they said, well, no, because again, that's going to be a rejection, that she's going to feel like you don't like her. So anyway, it was very frustrating, yes. And now in this conversation, we are talking with Athena, and we are talking about Aneeka and her health. And we are also thinking about why this COVID situation has affected Aneeka and all of them so much. Because I'm trying to offer other perspectives. Okay, well, maybe we shouldn't get involved so much. If this is affecting her so much, and all of you and us, well, maybe let's look at this from a different angle. We don't have to get so wrapped up in this situation. So you see me asking these types of questions in this conversation. Anyway, see you after the conversation.
Aneeka is not well. Little by little, the bleeding in her eye is returning. As Yaski said, you cannot cure something without first removing what caused it. So what else does she have to do to cure it? She must stop looking at the human matrix, which causes her high blood pressure, work pressure of all kinds, problems on Earth, COVID, resets, betrayals, wars. And apparently, Senetre is going to operate on her eye. But Aneeka, as a good doctor, is resisting the idea. So yes, it is better for her to retire to Temer for at least a few months. But she doesn't want to. She wants to come back here to continue this with you.
We have already told her not to come here until she has recovered.
So she hasn't made any changes yet? Why is she so stubborn? Yes, she is making changes, but not enough. She should go away for a while and then come back just with you guys, but not spend hours and hours talking about COVID. This causes frequency dissonance. Basically, it's like living on Earth while having her body here. And it's the food. It's vegan. With that kind of wear and tear, it doesn't nourish her, especially with that body size. But as you know, Aneeka takes her role of wanting to save humanity, or as many souls as she can, very seriously. The truth is that it's frustrating, but there is little we can do. And Aneeka is going to come back in. Just give her a few days. More so if she has surgery.
She shouldn't enter.
I'll be entering more. That's why there are several of us here, to support each other. Thank you, but I always insist, not out of obligation, please. There is none. Let it flow.
Yes, there's no need for you to come in.
She doesn't feel obligated. She loves you very much. Yes, but sometimes I feel like she feels obligated, something self-imposed. This has to be like best friends who talk to each other when they feel like it, period. I have other ways of dealing with the pressure and atrocities that are seen happening on Earth. Aneeka is very TAYGETAN, very sensitive, Everything gets to her. Everything affects her.
Aneeka asked you to train with her, right? We talked about it and agreed that she would do some sport with you.
Yes, she told me, but she can't because she has this blood problem in her eye, and that prevents her from exercising because it makes it worse. She has to heal first.
Well, in this case, the most reasonable thing to do is to have surgery because she can't even exercise, and exercise was one of the things that helped her psychologically.
She shouldn't come in until she is 100% recovered.
And why is it so important that we win with COVID and all that? I don't think it affects me much. I mean, the fact that we might lose, or not much. I don't know why. I just do what I do.
Yes. Why is it so important if we are eternal? There are more lives after this one.
It has to do with the fact that there is no stable faith, no spiritual foundation in humanity, and that everyone is divided into worthless religions. So in their eagerness to find answers, they have turned to science and politicians, who together create a technocracy. So humans stop seeing the spiritual as important in favor of materialistic and deterministic scientific explanations, where they themselves, the human population, elevate them to the status of new gods. So what science and the authorities say is the absolute truth. That, combined with their inability to think for themselves, which is part of their root of the problem, caused them all to blindly obey the system.
Well, that's it. That's how it is. We do what we can, but we are not going to fight against what's there by sacrificing ourselves.
If humans are in atheist mode, believing that this is the only life and that the spiritual doesn't matter, it will cause the material to be what matters, and then they forget the spiritual and ethical foundations necessary to form a healthy society.
And why is it so important for them to do that? Why is it so important if we don't win? If everyone reincarnates anyway, all over the place?
For the Federation, this experience is not even considered real.
Seen from above, it doesn't matter, Gosha, as you say. And everything is a test, an examination for souls. But as we have said so many times before, from the point of view of the ground, of the people, this is immense tragedy.
Well, for Aneeka not to be affected too much by all this, maybe she should look at it from a more expanded perspective. We are inside the Earth itself, and it doesn't affect us as much. And there have been many tragedies before. It's not the first time. Look what happened at Tiamat. There are always disasters.
But in this case, they are present here.
But so are we.
It probably affects you more from the outside, Gosha. That's my theory.
Why from the outside?
Because you open the door and see people with masks on their faces and little else. But here we, and especially Aneeka, make up catastrophic scenarios in our minds.
We're already seasoned, Gosha. From above, you probably see everything differently.
Yes, you develop thick skin. We don't have that here.
I have moments. Sometimes I feel a lot of compassion and it affects me. But at the same time, strangely, it does not affect me, as if I am completely outside of it, beyond it, as if I don't even see what is happening around me as something tangible or real. But at the same time, I have a strong passion to fight. It's strange. I fight without feeling very affected. I don't care, but I fight. I don't understand it myself. Some schizophrenia.
That's very good, Gosha. Just that Aneeka is not taking it well.
But you have already gone through many catastrophic events in the past. I didn't go through any wars, nor do I have any memory of them, and Svarus did. The Svarus should also have thicker skin. They have participated in wars directly, right?
Yes, but that's like in books. not something you see happening in front of you. You don't have direct memory? The Svarus, yes. The TAYGETANs, apparently not so much. That's why we endure more, I guess. Although Svaru Overra already left for that very reason. Well, maybe she has to go home. Because here it seems like she never rests.
Aneeka has to go back to Timur.
That's what they tell her. But she has nothing or no one to return to. She has no life there. She has it all here on a ship. She has herself. It's like a vacation. It's just for a little while, emotional recharge. The problem is that she's stubborn. But I understand her. I would be like that too. Well, yes. She says she can do that from here, rest. Let's see what happens. I have to go cook now.
Thank you for your time, Tina.
See you tomorrow. Get some rest. Thank you both.
So as you see this, I ask these questions like, why do we worry so much if we lose? Not because, of course, I didn't care about the situation. Of course I did. We did a lot of work in that time. But just to try to give Aneeka another perspective. Just to try to give them another perspective. Not to see this so drastically. To help her ease mentally around this topic. Give her a lighter perspective. And we kept telling her to go to Timur. Not so much because it was only our idea, just our idea, but everybody on the ship was recommending her to do that. Well, first the operation, and if you don't want to have the operation, then go to Timur to rest. So we kept worrying for her, and we just didn't know what to do. And again, I repeat, we were even willing to sacrifice, doing this work, because we were thinking, if we stopped to do this, well, then she would have no choice but kind of stop looking at all these different, human affairs situations, because, well, then she will have nowhere to share it. So she would kind of, she might continue looking at them, but in a different way. So although we loved this project very much, of course, we were able to do that, and we were offering that as well, which will be seen in a future conversation here. And especially because we also knew that not everybody on the ship was in agreement with this project. I used to say this from the very beginning, that not everybody is on board with this. No, they believed from the very beginning with Svaru Overra that it was too much of a sacrifice, perhaps, that it wasn't necessary, to give people so much information. It was too much risk. So it was mainly Svaru Overra and then Aneeka and a few others that believed in this project deeply. It was approved by others, observed by many, but there is some skeptics on board as well. So that's why, especially knowing that there are those people up there, we were trying to show that, yeah, we are willing to stop this. We are not going to sacrifice anybody's health to that extent, which of course, like I have been explaining, all these different elements were contributing to her health. The project was actually something that was keeping her happy in a way. Yes, it was keeping her focus on those matters like sharing the COVID stuff, but at the same time, it was making her life very meaningful. When she finally stopped, she felt like she lost the meaning of her life, and we'll get to that. So, how you maneuver around situations like that. And also, I have to be totally honest, I also knew that some TAYGETANs, they had these tendencies. Of course, I'm not talking about the bulk, just some from what we heard, and from Yaski herself. They had these tendencies sometimes to look for guilty ones for different situations. And I'm referring here to the situation with the infiltration, where some TAYGETANs on the ship were blaming Yaski for what happened. They were blaming poor Yaski for that infiltration because of maybe Yaski was revealing too much information to those girls, and that's when it all went down, blah blah. But this is absurd. You cannot blame someone for doing something that they cannot know where it's going to go. because, life is causing a certain chain of events. I mean, it's just like, how far back do you go blaming someone? And actually, why do you even play this blame game? This is not about, looking for the guilty ones, but always, for me, about addressing the situation at hand and, understanding that life just happens and different events happen. It's all interconnected. It's all interlinked. Events just, like a domino effect sometimes happen, and it's not just a one-line domino effect, but it's like all intertwined, intermeshing, multi-level domino is happening on all levels. Some things just have to happen because they have been programmed from above. Who knows? So playing the guilty game, I didn't like that some Taygetans were blaming Yasky, and we're gonna get to that in the Yasky section of the behind the mission, where Yasky didn't feel very, very well, and she was resenting some of these Taygetans on the ship that were blaming her. I never in a million years would blame Yasky for that. But anyway, again, that's going to be for the next episode about Yasky. But since I already knew that they had these tendencies, some of them, to blame, their team members by association. By associations, I was thinking, no, I don't want to be blamed here for anything. If anything happens to Aneeka, we already lost Varu Verra, and now this cannot be. I have not come here to do this project, and then have these circumstances develop. So people need to understand they're on a ship. I was telling them and telling Aneeka that if you are going to continue this, you are going to continue because you want to, because it is completely your decision. But even then, we were having these ideas with Robert to withdraw, but they didn't want us to withdraw. They kept convincing us, Aneeka, you'll see that in the conversation, that she was telling us, no, we continue. So, okay, so now this is the conversation that I have with Robert, first alone. Okay, we are in a group server with Aneeka and Athena, but Aneeka and Athena are not there at that moment. And I'm just talking to Robert. I knew that eventually Aneeka will see that, and I wanted her to see that, but just me and Robert, and we are discussing just that. What do we do? Do we finish? Do we go away? Because even though this project, like I said, like I repeat, wasn't really something that was overwhelming her to the point of making her sick, because all these other elements were that I have been describing, especially the COVID and especially Federation threats and especially the infiltration. Still, I was thinking, if we remove this project from her life, it's going to be one less thing to do for her. So this is what we talk about.
Should we end the disclosure, Aneeka? I always tell you to walk away if your health requires it. Maybe it's better to end it all now if your life is in danger. Would that help?
Aneeka could die if she keeps this up. I've always said so.
So what do we do?
But Aneeka wants to continue, Gosha.
But the same with Varu. It wasn't our fault that she wanted to continue and didn't take care of herself. But some there blamed the disclosure. I don't like this because everyone always assumes responsibility. If I die because of this work, I can't blame this contact for it, or you, Robert. It would be unfair and absurd. I can only blame myself because I am the only one who chooses to continue. If I die, I die. I'll be buried, period. No one is going to blame anyone. But I have the impression that some people up there, especially those who don't know us, might do so. When I, and you too, never pressure Aneeka or anyone else to continue. On the contrary, I always tell her she has to stay away, but she doesn't want to. Everyone there needs to know this. Otherwise, we will have to finish this. I already told Aneeka, if you keep going like this, I'm even willing to close my account for 2 weeks or so to get you away from the computer and everything. If Aneeka chooses to continue or abuse her time online, I don't know what else to say here then.
So what do we do?
Should we stop? It has to be a group decision. The problem is that Aneeka won't want to. On top of it, she will feel guilty that we are ending everything because of her. It could be worse. Let's see what Aneeka and the others say and what solution can be applied. Maybe just connect once a week?
And now Aneeka and Athena are coming into the chat and responding to this, and we are having a conversation around this topic.
Hey, no one is going to blame you for anything. I'm not that bad. This is more of a wake-up call for me. But everyone here knows that I'm continuing on my own and not because you're forcing me to do anything. I think this project is very important, and not only do I not want to stop, I want to push it further. But to push it further, I need to get rid of unnecessary baggage, because that baggage doesn't allow me time to recover, as we've said over and over again. So I have to let go of practically everyone except you two, and get on with something else of my own, because I've also been told and made to see that I have self-destructive tendencies, in that I push myself beyond my limits in order to give more. But that more I give is only to individuals who wear me down. The wear and tear comes from there and not from you. You never pressure me. It's a pleasure to work with you too, so no one is going to blame you for anything. And I'm not that bad. More than anything, I need to calm down because of my pressure so that my eye doesn't act up again. That means more exercise and more 5D things, and not being on social media for 8 hours a day, or however many hours. So relax, and I love you guys.
I understand. Thank you, Aneeka.
For example, what bothers me the most is when I have to be with someone at a set time. Because it's not just the time itself. It's also difficult for me to tell the time from here, so I have to be on the lookout for a long time beforehand. And it prevents me from doing other things. And it all adds up.
I understand, yes, it's a lot of hours on the internet, and you have to optimize your resources for your health.
Yes, exactly, that's all.
What are you afraid of?
What do you mean?
That your public image will decline?
I accept that, I think so, yes.
That's the first thing you have to let go of. Okay, thank you, Aneeka, for explaining. Yes, that's how it has to be. More of your 5D stuff, less time online, without thinking that you have an obligation to share information. I mean it, let go of this idea. And let the crew above know that you are continuing because you want to do it. The same goes for us. We continue because we want to. But I was also serious about ending it if your health would be at great risk, and you continued.
I already made it clear here that I am continuing because I like this project and this work. That is why they scold me for being stubborn and not taking care of myself. They are not criticizing you.
Thank you, Aneeka. It's important for me to know this, and for your friends on the ship to know it.
They know. Rather, the criticism here refers to the fact that I don't know how to take care of myself because I have self-destructive tendencies, according to them, like guilt for being here and not down there. Besides, it's not the same talking to you as with those other two girls.
I see. Interesting point, because you are up there and not down here. And why is it not the same talking to us? What's the difference? I thought they were like us, your friends, talking and discussing some topics, just like us.
The constant pressure of being online answering questions about topics that are irrelevant or out of place, like space ponies.
Oh, but if you didn't tell them which topics you didn't like, they didn't know. And how do we know if you don't like some topics or questions we ask you? You have to say if you don't like them. Always say it. Express yourself, or everything will bottle up inside you, and then your eye explodes.
Okay, Athena.
Precisely. You have to express yourself. You had to say that you didn't like certain topics with them, because here too we won't know if you don't say it.
You have to speak clearly, Aneeka. Then we dialogue.
I don't know how to explain this. It has to do with trust and closeness with you. The fact that I see clearly what something is for, and that everything flows with you. That's the difference. It's subtle, but it makes all the difference. It's not that it's bad to ask questions. That's what I'm here for. But with them I couldn't say, you know what, I'm feeling really tired. Here, yes, so I'm happy to be with you. That makes all the difference.
My point is that I don't want you to be with us the way you were with them, and then coming out later that you didn't like something and you didn't express it. Do you know what I mean?
No, Gosha. No. You guys are different. I don't feel forced. And since you guys didn't force me, logically you suffered the lack of attention when those two were around, because they demanded more of my time online. Besides, the pressure to look good to them and not show that I didn't know something was stressful. I saw it as a necessary job and a necessary effort, unlike here where it flows. It's necessary here too, but here with you, I take it differently because it comes naturally to me, and with them I force myself. That's the difference. And I made an effort there so that the public would see that we weren't just yours, so that the public would see that we are real and not your invention. Now we see things differently. Centralizing everything is best.
Okay, Aneeka. Thank you for explaining. But I hope you really don't feel pressure to share anything with us, not even for Robert's lives. Robert, you need to confirm to Aneeka that she has no obligation. Say it again.
Anyone with half a brain can see that this isn't something that we made up.
It's just that back then, it was important for the public to see that.
Robert, please confirm this with Aneeka, that she shouldn't feel any pressure. You have to get this idea out of your head.
But I keep telling you that it's not pressure.
Yes, you don't have to talk with me to give me information, or for lives. I confirm that.
Aneeka can step back more, and I will continue as planned. But then, I don't come in because Aneeka monopolizes you guys. It's not that I don't want to help her.
Thanks. Okay, we'll slow down, but at the same time, I'm then the one who feels the need to come in.
Just come in, Aneeka, when you feel like it. Don't think about us. We will be fine. I'm tired of saying it to everyone.
Okay, Gosha, understood. It's just that I do feel like it. I'm not coming in of obligation.
Here in this chat, in the beginning, Aneeka is talking about two girls. That's referring to the infiltration, to the infiltrators. So yes, she's saying here that in the beginning, she was forcing herself because the idea was to have them confirmed by someone else. They were not just our invention. But also, I have to say this, that then it was discovered that one of those girls was supposed to be Alanim's daughter, which turned out to be the imposter. So that's also why Aneeka was talking to them. That has to be clarified, of course. So yes, we were repeating this tirelessly to them all the time, with Yaski as well. Please only come if you really, really, truly want to. And they were always responding, yeah, we truly want to. Yaski was even getting annoyed with me for repeating this all the time as if we didn't believe them. But I also insisted because I knew from the stories, their own stories about the past contactees, like even before they met us, before 2017, how, they were spent so much time online because they couldn't say no and because they had this people-pleasing mentality. So I knew this from day one, that that's how they are, because that's what they were saying about themselves. So I always had that in mind. And I knew that, well, maybe it's applying to me as well. From day one, I had that in my mind. And that's why I kept always reassuring them and making sure that we are always on the same boat here, in the same agreement. It's very important for me, because the personal freedom for both sides, for me as well, for Robert and for them, is crucial. Is very, 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 very important. But then I was thinking, maybe there are some people on the ship that don't know us exactly, or don't know our dynamic and our friendship with Aneeka and Svaru and others. And of course, they were telling for sure how it is, our friendship, but maybe they were not telling everything. So I was thinking, how do you solve this situation? So that's why I was always going over the top to make sure they understand that they have to be here because they want to be here and not because they can't say no. So I have it all registered. It's in thousands conversations, okay? Oh, and also because at that time, Robert started to make lives, and he started to make his lives almost every day with the information that he was getting here and there from just casual chats from Aneeka or this or that. And Aneeka was, I remember, glad that he was going so fast with this information. But then I was thinking, well, maybe at the same time they might feel pressured to come and share some more information because Robert was doing these lives all the time. And so that's why also I had to, in that conversation that I just showed you, I had to make Robert confirm, please confirm, that no one needs to take care of you and your lives. That's absurd, totally absurd.
When Aneeka was told she had to retire, it seemed like that was making her even sicker. I mean, she was committed to all of this. She didn't want to go. She wanted to keep spreading the word, sharing, even if she got sick. She just wanted to. And we have to remember that a lot of the things that were making her sick was because of what she was finding on social media. Well, she got sick because of everything that happened 5 years ago. The papayas, the lockdowns, She got sick because of all of this. And because of what she saw on social media. And all this was making her sick. But she kept going. Gosha and I came up with a plan to help Aneeka avoid getting sick, which was for them to stay away from social media, from everything that was making them sick, to stay away for her to not continue, in other words, to make her cut off contact with it all. But well, they kept going and going. Even after there were warnings, they kept going. I mean, it wasn't up to us to decide what to do or what not to do. I mean, we even said, hey, we're going to cut off contact with you. And she kept going and going. Look, don't get me wrong. When we said to stop, it didn't mean that we didn't want to keep doing this. No one here was forcing anyone to share anything. We did it because we wanted to. Even though my two main channels, Despagando Enigmas and Red Agatha, were demonetized for a year and 6 months, the appeal letters didn't serve anything. YouTube was shutting down channels that talked about certain content. But we continued to talk about it. I remember it perfectly. It was like having a commitment to humanity. They wanted to share information no matter what. They wanted to share, and neither Gosha nor I forced them to do anything. On the contrary, we told them, hey, if you're sick or you're feeling unwell, stop. Just stop. No one here is under any obligation to continue with all of this. I repeat, it's not that we didn't like it. No, we like sharing all of this. It's our passion and our commitment to continue with all of this. The only thing is, of course, to continue in good health.
Now, the problem was that Aneeka kept refusing to treat herself medically, and no one could change her mind for a very, very long time. And here there is a conversation that Robert had with Athena, short one, about this topic.
They won't operate on Aneeka after all, will they?
I doubt it, knowing how super stubborn Aneeka is.
Well, then she shouldn't confuse Sinatre so much. The poor woman is probably swamped with work.
Let's see. But I don't blame her for not wanting that operation. Then she should take other measures, such as changing what hurts her or going on vacation.
Sure. And now Aneeka walks around the ship with a cane? Like blind people?
She still has one eye left.
Oh, okay. She walks with a patch.
No, just with one eye not working. That eye looks sad. And it's a little crossed-eyed because it can't follow images anymore. Yesterday, Aneeka underwent a bunch of clinical tests.
If her health has worsened, she has to go to Temer.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you the conversation with Aneeka that we have with Robert after the operation. That's right, she finally gave in. Aneeka finally gave in and did the treatment, okay? And she's telling us about this. And again, we are talking about her going to Temer, disconnecting. Okay, now enjoy the conversation.
Aneeka, how are you?
Well, thank you, and seriously, Senator already operated on me. I have a patch over my eye.
Wow, that was fast. Now you need to rest.
Yes, the problem is that this is something complex, cumulative. What I have, and Senator and I believe that it's not as simple as saying that it happens to me because I'm online. That's why I'm still here today. There are things behind it that we still don't understand, mainly because of my refusal to undergo tests and treatments until yesterday.
I think it's more because of what you see online, perhaps.
Correct. So I have to change those things.
And it doesn't hurt?
Yes, it hurts, but less than yesterday before the operation.
Okay, because before you were worried that sometimes it hurts a lot.
Yes, it can hurt a lot, not just the eye, but the other one too in my head. My head hurts because of problems with my eyes. Also because of other things, of course.
Don't you have any painkillers?
Yes, but I don't take them. I control everything with my mind. Let's see how long I can hold out. My eye hurt a lot the day before yesterday, and I put a quartz crystal on it to soothe it because it had worked before. But since that quartz crystal is large and rough and heavy, it may have caused the bleeding. As Senator says, use a quartz crystal, not a rock or a cliff.
Sure, it pressed your eye.
Yes, and I didn't think about that. But what worries me is that it's a huge loss for me not to be able to be with you and give even mild topics.
Whatever you prefer, Aneeka, but don't feel obligated. You need to rest.
Oh, forget about it, Aneeka. Forget everything.
Thank you. I'm doing this because I want to, not because I have to. Seriously, believe me already.
Sometimes I don't believe you 100%. I can't deny it. I know you like it, but I also know you feel a sense of responsibility. And you shouldn't, and I'm tired of saying it.
Maybe it's in their mindset, Gosha, being persistent about something.
Even so, I don't see it as something bad, that responsibility I might feel.
I know because I am the same, but it would only be responsibility towards myself. You don't have to feel responsible towards us. Forget about everything if you are not feeling well. It's not worth it.
I will still be coming in, but less often, for shorter periods of time, and with other people not anymore for now.
And if you can't talk about something because it requires more research, don't stress. Just say, I can't, or I don't feel like it. It's simple.
Exactly. Say no. Period.
I know, no more martyrs. And the Sveroists are helping me, or they will help me, or whatever. This project is also important to them.
It's important to me too. But if illnesses start, then no. We've already done a lot, more than enough perhaps. Take it easy.
Yes, the seed has already been sown.
And Gosha, you're already having problems. Your mysterious postural pain, perhaps, and your eyes like mine.
Yes, but for now they are gone. But if I had serious illnesses, I would also take it easier. Maybe.
See, that's my point. This job has become my world. It's important to me.
Yes, it's hard to disconnect from this mysterious commitment to this project. Yes, I know, Aneeka.
So you understand me.
I understand you 100%.
Losing health is a heavy blow.
Yes, and it seems that you've defended yourself very well thanks to your discipline with exercise, which relieves your stress.
I just don't want anyone up there to get an idea that you are getting sick because of us.
It's not because of you. It's part of the problem and how hard this job can be sometimes, but it's not your fault. Everyone here knows that. It's not just my opinion. Everyone knows it, even Nishera. And Alanim too, who keeps a close eye on us all the time with her finger on the abort button.
It's good that she keeps an eye on you. I like that. Because if abort is necessary, then abort is done.
Exercise and meditation, clearing my mind when I run, helps me. And I get nourishment from the forest.
Yes, yes, that heals you. Note that my eye problem started when I stopped cycling regularly.
You need to disconnect, Aneeka. You need to do other things that will make you forget all this.
Yes, and that's what I'll do.
Good. And from here on, we should stop talking about things that bother you. So, no COVID, no difficult questions, just ET topics that you like to explain and are super easy.
No graphene or building electromagnetic pulse devices. Let's move on to something else.
But it's difficult for me because there are things to share. That's why I'm telling you that I'll be coming in less, but I will still be coming.
Okay, whenever you feel like it.
It's also my fault for not being able to say no to certain questions. I feel like it's against me, or us, if I don't answer them, as if I don't know the answers. And that's true. There's a lot I don't know or can't know. But I feel like we look bad if we don't have all the answers.
That's the difference here. We don't see anything wrong with not knowing something. So for me, when I pass on any questions from subscribers or whoever, they are all the same to me because if you don't know the answers, you don't know. It's simple for me and no problem. You shouldn't feel bad because you don't know something.
I say this because in my other group of contacts, one person asked me for medical help with their child. It's not that simple. I can't give remote consultations because if something bad happens, it will be not only my fault, but also yours.
You have to know how to stand your ground and say that you're not answering any of this. This is not Lord's.
Well, with you I have told you that I don't know something, but it's because I trust you. Thank you, Robert. And yes, I have told them the truth, that I can't give remote consultations because I can't see all the data, and if something goes wrong, we'll all be in trouble, starting with you too.
That's right. Good.
I have to disconnect now. If I could, I would give you both a big hug right now.
Okay, so now the problem was that Aneeka did not fully apply all the other lifestyle changes that she had to apply to treat herself. Because just because you treat yourself medically, if you do not remove the cause of the problem, of course you know all this, well, you're not going to heal well. So this is Robert chatting with Athena about this topic.
Is Aneeka still sick?
She is in very poor health and clearly feels better since we shared with her the meat given to us by the Urma. Although she has had surgery, she suffers from headaches around her eye. She also feels weak and has low energy levels. She has several migraines that can only be relieved with acupressure and energy therapy device.
And why doesn't she just return to Taygeta with the Saska ship?
She's stubborn. I already told them here yesterday that DK, Naishara, and Aneeka should return to Taygeta.
The same thing will happen to her as Swaru.
It's clear that it's going there, especially if she keeps up with her work and staying online and watching COVID stuff and all that. Besides, there is technology that allows you to connect from Taygeta. Coordinating schedules is almost impossible because of the time slip. But if she logs on casually and she feels well, the conversation can flow because it's through muons.
Yes, but it's better not to bring the problem to Taygeta.
Well, that too. Sophia and I can handle this disclosure from now on.
Don't give this whole disclosure thing too much thought.
Okay, now some time has passed. Aneeka started to come less and rest. Athena and Yaski were now coming more often and were sharing their stuff, and we were spending time with them, and Aneeka was supposed to rest. And supposedly she was resting, but not entirely. She never left her post, even though she stopped talking to us and not sharing stuff and not looking at COVID stuff and easing about things. She still stayed at her post. And unfortunately, her eye problem returned. So this is January 2002, and Robert and I talk to Aneeka.
Aneeka, how are you feeling after your surgery?
The bleeding has returned. And as Yaji said, it's psychosomatic. In fact, all illnesses are, only here it's more obvious and faster, I suppose. So I have no choice but to stay away from computers, and especially from what comes out of them in terms of conspiracies, COVID and trolls.
You mean stay away more, right? Because you already had to stay away.
Yes, so what brings you here, Aneeka?
Seeing Gaia, saying hello, reporting on the division of labor with regard to our work, which we agreed on here on this side. I mean, at the moment I can't be here much, or share much. That's why I passed the leadership, if there is such a thing, on to Tina.
Yes, we know Athena is in charge. Don't worry. But it's worrying about the eye again.
Yes, especially because the procedure or operation is not pleasant at all, and I don't want to go through that again.
Why don't you go to Temer for a while?
Exactly. And don't say you don't have anyone there. What does that matter? You'll rest. You're going to be in nature with yourself, in peace, without talking.
I don't want to, I'll be fine here.
But you are not fine, so something is not working.
It's because I'm always on the lookout for satanic conspiracies. And I also feel like it's some kind of revenge from the system, the Matrix, or whatever you want to call it. And I have nothing to do there. I have no family, no friends. Everything is here for me. My whole world is on board Tolika.
But it's like when you go on vacation. Nobody says, I am not going to Hawaii because I have my life in Barcelona or wherever. If everyone thought like you, nobody would travel anywhere. They leave their world specifically for that reason, to rest.
On vacation, yes, maybe. But it's no fun alone. I don't know. I'll think about it.
I think it would be good for you. Nature is healing. The wind, sun, sand, etc.
It's the only way to disconnect from all this.
While you are here, even if you are not online, you are close to all earthly matters. They are in the air.
Yes, the thing is that all these negative issues I'm seeing are an entity, or like an entity. Not like a ghost, or a negative being per se, but like a destructive idea that gets into your mind, causing you to have recurring thoughts that undermine your health. It's a kind of astral parasitism. It is said that this in itself is an entity. I just wanted to mention that we've said here that we have to shield Tina from trolls. We need her in her Svaru bubble, even though she knows how to take care of herself. Just the fact that she shares her photos with the public has us biting our nails here.
I don't see trolls or talk about trolls. I don't know about them, Aneeka, so no problem.
Don't pay attention to the trolls. No major channel will attack us. They don't have the guts. Small trolls are inevitable. They're the lice of the internet.
I don't care about small or large ones. And that thing about entities, that's why you have to go to Temer, Aneeka. Don't be stubborn. I think you all have it there, in a sense, just by being inside the terrestrial soup. So getting away from it is the ideal way to recover. You're not going to die of boredom there because you're not with your friends for a week. Stop making excuses.
Undoubtedly, and we all have it in one way or another. It's the influence of collective thinking, and it gets in here through the ship's shields because it comes in through the internet. But I insist that it's not a thing, but a set of Matrix ideas values, because all our attention is there for a long time.
The Matrix values. So you have to get a change of scenery. Spend some time in Temer, and if you want, come back to Toleka.
Temer, Temer, Temer.
In any case, I would have to wait for the resupply ship to arrive.
When is that?
It arrives every 2 months, and it arrived in January, so the next resupply is in March.
That's a month and a half away. It's not long. And when would you return?
In another 2 months.
Sounds perfect.
Except for the time slip. That's about 2 weeks in Temer, 2 useful weeks. But yes, the terrestrial matrix makes us sick. Even so, you go on with the resistance, and you can do a lot with that personal resistance and with your group of friends, because a person is the average of the content they incorporate into their being, the average of what they read, hear, and perceive as information, mainly coming from their closest circle of friends. But then that means you have to be careful who you talk to and who you associate with. So what do you expect from me if I spend years talking to treacherous pig spies, believing what they say? And again, this connects us to Athena. We need her immersed in her Svarunian bubble so she can connect with high densities and protect herself and give positive subjects as an antenna for and to Earth. And I need to cleanse myself of all that evil influence.
Very well. But again, no pressure on her. Let her do what flows for her.
Yes, and not look at the internet.
Athena should protect herself and you soon to the beach.
Look at Gosha. She's very happy with Bongo.
That's what it's all about, being happy.
And super tired too. I don't sleep many hours. And you have to play with her a lot.
She's just a baby, she'll grow up.
Yes. Okay, Aneeka, disconnect now.
Yes, I love you both very much.
Us too.
I'm still around and keeping an eye on things, just not as much online as before.
Same here, Aneeka. Don't worry. Beach time soon.
Already in March.
Well, for the people to understand a little bit more about all of this, the context of all of this, because you hear some real nonsense out there, like Robert and Gosha were exploiting them and this and that. You can look at Mary's videos. Is Robert or Gosha behind Mary demanding that she upload a video every single day? No. Was Mary getting sick? Well, it seems so. But still, she kept sharing and sharing, and Robert and Gosha aren't behind her asking for topics every day. It was the same with Aneeka, Yazzie, and Athena. They shared because they wanted to share, and no one was forcing them to do anything. Now we have Mary. Robert and Gosha are not behind her, and she keeps sharing and sharing and sharing. So this proves once again that Aneeka shared stuff because she wanted to share, because she had a commitment to humanity. Swaru, the same. Yazzie, the same. Athena, the same. And the others, even though they shared very little, all the same. No one forced them to do anything. We have said something here from the beginning, that there are two things here. One is extraterrestrial contact and the other is disclosure. The public only knows the disclosure part, which is the part about sharing current events, sharing topics and such, but they don't know much about the contact part, which is the part that involves our friendship, being friends with them, their therapists, listening to them. So, of course, since people only know the disclosure part, they believe anything others say, without really knowing what is happening from the inside. In other words, before calling someone a narcissist or saying anything along those lines, you need to know everything, and people are missing the part to do with the relationship that we had with them. That's what they're missing. Then we have Mary. Mary spoke to us very little. Almost nothing. So how can it be that overnight, from being family, we become narcissists? Why didn't she say so before? About who is exploiting who, I need to make clear that we have been working on this 24/7, on this Swaru TAYGETAN disclosure. When they would finish talking to us, they continued with their tasks, whatever that was, but we continued working on this. We never stopped. Never stopped. And the effort it takes to make the videos. I mean, there were videos that took me a week to make. I didn't do as many live streams back then as I do now. I mean, I just made videos and videos and more videos. But nobody forced me to, mind you. I just want people to know how much work goes into it, because it seems like sometimes people don't value that. It was always a mutual effort. There was reciprocity, I mean. There was a symbiosis. I don't know. It was an enjoyable way of working, but no one was requiring anything from anyone. I don't know if I'm explaining myself clearly, but we didn't demand that they give us anything, nor did they demand that we make the videos. They simply shared the information because they knew that we were going to share it, and with much pleasure. But no one was forcing anyone. No one can say now that Robert and Gosha, this and that. And that proves precisely that those on Mary's channel are infiltrators. Because the real Mary the real one, would know this about us. I mean, she would know how we worked. The same goes for everyone else. For Dor Kal-El, for Naishara, they all knew what Robert and Gosha were like and what our friendships and our relationships were like. Because the information about what was being done with Robert and Gosha was passed. I imagine to Naishara, Dor Kal-El, everyone knew. Everyone knew what we were doing. In other words, this shows, and I repeat, that Mary's channel is infiltrated by some real shameless people who are making it all up and excusing themselves on the basis of lies. And they take advantage of the fact that the people only know the disclosure part, but don't know about the personal contact part. And those who have infiltrated don't know about the contact part, nor do they know about the relationship that we had with all of them. They just don't.
Aneeka never went back to Temer. She never went to Temer to rest. I'm sharing all this with you so you can see, for different reasons. So you can see what went on a friendship level behind the scenes when you were getting all the information and Aneeka stuff and Athena stuff. Well, these were some types of conversations that we had with them, because again, like I said, only a small percentage was information level, and then it was friendship. And then when people were asking me in interviews or somewhere, how do I know this is not AI? I'm like, oh my God, how do I know it's not AI? Because people were just seeing the information, like AI type of information, you could say, right? What are the med pods? Where the med pods are? They said, no. Behind the scenes, we had very, very human, personal, emotional, dramatic, always something going on, situations, upside downs, personal problems. These types of problems that I'm sharing with you right now. So how do I know this is not AI? This is all too human. It was always very human, meaning human type of problems, not artificial intelligence. Okay, now, unfortunately, I'm also showing you these scenarios and context because there are some regressive entities out there, which I don't have any other word for that. I don't know how to call them, who, without knowing our contact from the inside, has managed to somehow intervene and conjure up stories around our character, around our interactions and our friendship with TAYGETANs, blatantly lying about it, to just throw shade on our friendship, as if there were things happening there that were not happening, which I'm showing you through these conversations, and that's to destroy this communication and this contact from within. That's our stand on this, and it's all very unfair. It's so unfair because reading, especially through these transcripts, I realized how much energy not only did we dedicate to work, we worked our asses off as well as them, together as a team, for this humanity, for the people, but also how much energy and time we dedicated to them on a personal level. We were there with them through it all. From the beginning, through Svaru health and her sickness, through Aneeka, her challenges, her Federation discoveries, her frustrations with Yashiden coming in and throwing in some metaphysical challenges at her, through COVID problems, through infiltrations, which, by the way, we had to deal with on our own at that time, because that was the time when they disappeared for 5 months. And for 5 months, they disappeared for different reasons, but one of the reasons was because they needed to take a break from these types of situations. So they left, but we had to continue to deal with this infiltration situation here. We never stopped. So we were there, and then the timeline changes, those timeline changes I mentioned, listening to it all, and Athena coming, and then Mari coming and supporting Mari, always being on board with any types of decisions, any types of changes, any types of new situations into context, collapsing or not collapsing for us, because many of that was very challenging for us mentally as well, but we were there. We were always there, good or bad. Like Mari said in 2024, in July, one of her last messages that she mentioned us, thank you, Gosha and Robert, for your loyalty and friendship in good and in bad. And that's how it always been. But anyway, this is not a video about us. In fact, I am going to make a video about us. I was thinking, because why not? I think it's going to be behind the mission. Like when I'm finally done, behind the mission Yaski, behind the mission Athena, then it's going to be behind the mission Robert and Gosha. And yeah, I think you need to know some of the, maybe, not need to, but whatever. We are also going to include us here because we are also important in what we have been going through as well. Anyway, going back to Aneeka, all the above situation that I am showing you, Aneeka doing so much and going through so much, I remember that when Svaru left, when Svaru was gone, well, some people were saying online, I believe everything in this contact until Svaru. That used to annoy me so much because I was always thinking, what about Aneeka? Why are you dismissing Aneeka's work and criticizing, questioning her even very existence? Because that's what it is. People were saying, I don't believe anything after Svaru. That was hurting me because I know it will hurt Aneeka as well, and I know that Aneeka was there. Aneeka was the same. It was the same, even stronger, even more determined to share stuff with the people. And people sometimes were dismissing everything that was coming after Svaru was gone. But Aneeka was there with very, very personal situations, as I have been showing you. She was not gone. Now, this is going to be the last conversation I'm going to share with you, and this is November 2022. And this is where Yaski comes and tells us that Aneeka, well, tells me here, it's in English, that Aneeka's health is not good at all and that she is unconscious, okay? So this is the conversation with Yaski.
No easy way to say this. Anna's health problems are very bad, and she preferred not to get any treatment for too long. It was her choice. As of today, Ragel stands down as leader of Hashmalim. As they say here, the only one to blame for this is Anna herself. I make this clear.
I don't know what to say. I'm angry at her for doing this to herself and everyone around her. She should have left long ago. It's even selfish to want to continue to stay, putting the whole crew through this. The crew doesn't deserve this. She could have easily healed herself just going back.
Many people are angry at her, including myself, for the very same reasons you are. And now she is messing with the efficiency of all the ship, as you said, and this has been going on for months now.
I do love her. It has nothing to do with that, but we gotta be realistic. When a soldier is wounded, he must get off the battlefield. This is war here. It didn't need to get to this point.
Aneeka is unconscious and in intensive care. She has been down spiraling for months now, saying that she is okay. I can no longer keep this from you guys.
Why would you want to keep this from us at all?
Because it hurts. And because I also expected her to get better. I don't like telling you guys this kind of bad news. That's why I wasn't online much.
You don't need to come online at all if you don't feel like it. Remember, there is no pressure here, ever. Just be with her, with others, whatever you need to do. And I prefer to know than not to know. So thanks for telling me. Is she in the pod now or where?
Yes, in a dry med pod, yes. Can't use a wet one. She has to be stable first. I must go now, but I'll be online a bit every day, even if it's only a bit. I hate it that I cannot concentrate on work with this going on.
Oh gosh, don't worry about it, but thank you. Come only if you can. Attend to her now and your friends. Thank you for coming in and informing.
I wonder if her current state has anything to do with Anna being here.
In what sense?
As if, for some cosmic reason, they cannot share the same space.
Like it was with you and Svaru?
No, No, I feel this is different. She's not as damaged, and she's human. TAYGETANs are very delicate. Humans are very tough, immune to everything, including hardship and life stress and struggles.
She should have been sent to Temer long ago. I mean, ordered, not just advised. And I'm angry it didn't happen.
Yes, me too. Many people are too.
Well, why didn't it? I mean, orders are orders, no?
You know TAYGETANs don't like orders.
But still, you don't have orders?
Yes, but Anna is stubborn, even against her well-being.
Please ask Alanim, in case anything happens to Aneeka. Ask her how we should proceed about our work. We will follow the recommendations.
Okay, I will. I must ask you this in return. Alanim will ask me this, to ask you. Do you and Robert want to continue?
You see, I worry that if I say yes, they will feel that this is continued for me, or because of me, and this must always be a group decision. I will not continue if any of you don't want to. But if you ask me personally, yes, I would continue, but not against the desires of the whole team and yours.
Okay, I will. I want to continue. You do too. What about Robert?
He does. Not as much as me, maybe. He could be extracted tomorrow and happy, but for sure he does. It's just, with Aneeka in such bad condition, they may not want us to continue as if nothing was happening. Please ask them up there.
Okay, I will.
Anna, in this conversation, that's referring to the human girl who was extracted, I don't know, around 3 years ago or so. And Anna is actually Aneeka's past incarnation. Yes, they coexisted at the same time on a ship, and that's what Yaski here is referring to. And then, on November 5th, as we were told by Yaski, but a week later, Aneeka passed away. She was 23, and it happened on the 5th of November, which is actually just around this time, 3 years ago. And Yaski, I remember, was angry. She was angry because for a very long time, Yaski just, I remember, wanted to focus on good stuff and on Aneeka's healing, and then her focused on doing the work and sharing stuff. And I remember I tried to find this conversation, but I couldn't find it. I remember she said, well, the sick ones, because sometimes she was like this general. And she would go into that general mode and say, the sick ones, move out of the field and let us, the healthy ones, work. I remember she said that. And she was angry because, like she said here, it was unnecessary. It didn't have to happen. She neglected herself. Everybody on the ship was blaming her for this and, being angry at her because it didn't have to happen. She refused the treatments for a long time. She refused to go to Temer. And even though she didn't come talking to us for a long time, so that was already out of the way for like a year or so, she continued in her post. She continued working from her side. But as Yaski said, and that's important, where her health really started to go down was after doing that papaya lab analysis. That's when her health started to go down. Okay, so it was a constant health struggle after that point because of what she saw that in those papayas. Everything else, it was just elements that was adding, but as Yaski said in one of the conversations that I found just today, it was that mainly what she saw in those lab results. Now, the conversation here that I just showed you finishes with me asking, please ask them how to proceed. This was always very important for me, and it continues to be. I perceived this project to be something aboard along with them, even though most of them did not participate, even though most of them did not even agree that it was necessary, too much sacrifice, not just for them, but for me as well, as a TAYGETAN in the immersion. I remember Dorkalele once said, wow, this is a big sacrifice to come in an immersion and do this, and unnecessary sacrifice because you're also sacrificing your identity in a way, because you are now absorbing identity of your avatar. But anyway, a lot of TAYGETANs, and not only TAYGETANs, do that, come in the immersion. So that's everybody's individual decision. But yeah, it was very important for me to have them all, or at least Alenim as a queen, on board. I never wanted to do anything that is against her decisions and against the recommendations for her crew. Because also here from this side, well, we are not there, so we are seeing a lot from what they are telling us, but we are not seeing everything. So we are going to make also decisions like, hey, my decision is to continue from my perspective here. I'm healthy, I am willing, well, then I'm going to continue, right? But I didn't want that to be a determining factor for them to continue. It has to be mutual. It always had to be mutual. And that's why I asked here Yaski. And I remember in the conversation that I found today, well, Yaski said that, she said this: I see no need to stop or to pause. We paused enough already. And this is referring to that year where Aneeka was sick and everybody was always was on the edge because of that issue. I do have the Queen's support to go on with this project. That's what she said, and well, we continued. And the next episode is going to be, well, yeah, about Yaski. That's going to be a lot of interesting stories as well. But this was Aneeka, and I'm sharing with you a lot in these conversations, but it's still not everything. There have been many other situations which I probably even forgot. I will start digging into those conversations now in the future, and I'll be bringing you some interesting facts. But yeah, this has been intense interaction, intense friendship, very gratifying and satisfying, of course, on many levels. And we do not regret absolutely anything. We love them, we cherish them. We at every point we try to do anything possible to understand them, to help them with whatever they wanted, and that's how it's going to continue. I think if anything resumes at any point. But Aneeka, thank you very much, Aneeka. Yes, I know she is not around, she is not here, but in some form she might be watching or listening or feeling this. So thank you, Aneeka, very much for being our friend all these years, for your trust, opening yourself up so much to us about different things and different topics, for being vulnerable. Yes, sometimes there is some messy situations here and there because Aneeka's, how to say this, may not be, like I already expressed in the previous episodes, may not have been 100%, perhaps in the beginning more than anything, straightforward about some things, like about Victor or whatever. But it doesn't matter. These are all just little details, like they happen in every family and every friendship, every relationship. But Aneeka, thank you very much. It was my honor to have been in your presence for those years, and to receive your time, so much time and energy and affection and friendship, not to mention your knowledge, of course. But I do want to stress the personal connection here, because that's what this video here is about. So Thank you very much again. We're going to continue with the series and we are going to go into Yasky this time. Thank you everybody for watching, and until the next time, see you again soon.